Hello there guys, welcome back to a new video. Now if you've noticed some camera quality differences or audio differences, I'm on a new phone. I'm on the Google Pixel 6a. I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I don't know anything because, to be fair, I've compared this camera quality against Chloe's S22 Samsung and the Samsung's better, which is weird. So we'll see how this goes, but this might be the one and only video I film on this phone if I don't like the quality, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. So in case you haven't noticed, we are back at Graham's once again, and we have the TT in the garage. The white Golf is no longer here, that's all done. But yeah, we've got the TT back in the garage because this is the one and only day that I've got to get this ready for the Nurburgring. And we've got a lot to do. Well, I say we've got a lot to do. It's not a comprehensive list, but it's, well, as you can tell, it's fiddly. I mean, Graham's already got away with, you know, pulling half the engine apart. I've loosened the wheels off. This is the sort of surgery we're dealing with. So today we have got to do a brake pressure sensor, an exhaust gas temperature sensor, a clutch pedal, a brake bleed, a thermostat, and some wipers. I think that's everything, unless we run into any other issues. Might check the spark plugs and coil packs, just to be safe, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've got to do today. Like I said, Graham's already pulled half the engine apart to get to most of the jobs we need to do today. I've loosened the wheels off so we can go around and do brake bleeding, and yeah, I think that's probably the direction we're going into. Other than that, the car's been faultless other than these issues, and I say that it's been faultless other than these issues because this car's a pig to drive with a sticky clutch and no brakes. It's quite scary. But other than that, I haven't came across any other issues. It does have a slight misfire / shudder on idle, which we think is the exhaust gas temperature sensor because that's the only code it's bringing back engine related. And that's also why I said about checking the spark plugs, just in case it doesn't cure it.
Unless it's a vacuum leak down there.
Unless it's a vacuum leak, Graham said. But yeah, so yeah, we'll see where this video goes. But like I said, this is the one and only day I've got to make this good enough for the Nurburgring. That's pretty much it. So let's crack on. Alright, so this is why we don't need me down to order parts. This is the exhaust gas temperature sensor. And as you can see, the part number on it is, I don't know if you can read it, it ends in 529. The one on my car, which I don't know what Graham's done with it, there it is. The one on my car is a
529B.
Yeah, 529B. So that's basically a pre-revision sensor. It should still work, but ideally another B or a C would have been better. Let's just pray it works. Right, so quick update. What we've basically done is we've moved the battery cover out the way, we've moved the air filter out the way, just basically to give us more access, because as you can tell, this is quite a tight engine bay. Now obviously in the third Lido we've got the exact same engine, exact same configuration near enough, and there's a lot more room to work in that, whereas this is very compact. So we're having to move some stuff out of the way and yeah, just to really gain better access. So what are we looking at back here? What job's going to be back here?
The exhaust temperature sensor, the black box goes under the inlet manifold, and then the wire goes all the way around the side here and down the back into the turbo.
Yep.
So I'm basically getting all of this out so that I can see where the line or the wire goes for that, so that we can chase it back. But just because you've only just got here really and everything's so hot, can't really touch too much until it's cooled down a little bit.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing, and I suppose once we get the old sensor out, we'll compare sensors and chuck a new one in. Alright, so we've got the car up in the air to do the thermostat, because it's a bit of a pig to do on these cars. And we've made some discoveries. First of all, I don't know if you can see all the way back there, but them lines that you can see just next to the axle stand, they seem pretty much brand new. They're very good. Bit of vague corrosion, but nothing excessive. What have you found? Oh yeah, The oil filter has a date of 2021 on it, which is not ideal. So we're going to drop the oil, do an oil filter change, and
Pickup pipe.
the pickup pipe as well, because that's a very common failure point, and I don't want it to fail over in Germany. So,
If that fails, that's dead engine.
yes. Also as well, Graham mentioned this hard pipe boost pipe. Apparently these rot through, but this one, as you can tell, is in good condition.
Not in bad shape.
So that's another very good sign. But yeah, I think I'm onto a winner under here, because even the anti-roll bar, even that, oh no, that's not the anti-roll bar.
Anti-roll bar, yeah, that's power steering.
Yeah, even all of this looks really, really good. How on earth did I only pay 1,300 quid for this? This is probably one of the cleanest cars I've had. Well, that's like me being truthful.
That's because it's not Jap rotting, is it?
Yeah, but, well, I can't really say that, because my Corolla was relatively clean. And so was my Yaris, but...
Yeah, but Japs don't seem to do the corrosion protection as much as the Germans.
No. But yeah, and even though it's not on, it does still have the original under trays, which have a tendency to go missing.
Missing, lose bolts, etc. So
yeah. So, very well looked after.
not too bad.
So we're probably going to grab an oil filter. Graham's got oil for this. He's also got the pickup pipe for this. Is there anything else we're going to need? Obviously, sump plug.
Front plug.
What about an oil pan gasket?
Where it's the squirty dunky stuff. I'll double check, but I should have some.
Cool. So, I say we run to a parts supplier and get that crap. Right. Now this is how you know you've got a very good VAG car. Is when your oil drain, that'll be very concerning if there's oil coming out. When your coolant drain still works. I mean, saying that, the coolant don't look terrible. We are mixing green with pink, by the way, if you're wondering why it looks disgusting. There's already green in the bucket. But yeah, the coolant coming out does not look too bad. So,
Happy day.
yes. But that is how you know you got a good VAG car when that works, because they never do. Rightio, so we are currently playing with the thermostat housing, which, as you can see, is right up in there. Don't really know if there's another place I can view it from, but they like to make these engines tight, so that's why I haven't really filmed too much, because that's pretty much as good as you're going to get, really. But yeah, so we're getting to the thermostat housing, which is literally, trying to show you where the end of that nubbly pipe is. It's basically there. So yeah, that's what we're getting to. We're going to get that out, get that replaced, and then possibly go and get some car parts to finish this. Alright, so the old thermostat is out, and the same with the Leon one. Upon first inspection, it doesn't look too shabby, but that is, you can't push that at all. It's solid. And that's what the failing point is. So basically you should be able to push that down, shouldn't you?
Well, no, not really.
Oh really?
Yeah, but it's definitely getting past it if it's not getting up to temperature until you're sitting in traffic.
Yeah, and then when you start driving again, it drops, but not as much.
Yeah.
Sort of like drops to about 75. If I just drive it the whole time, it sits at about 60.
Yeah.
Whereas if I let it go up to temperature, it only drops to about 75, 70. But yeah, so that is the culprit for it not getting up to temperature. Same as a Leon, typical thing. In fact, it's the exact same thermostat as well. So yeah, let's get a new one in, and that's one job done. Right, so we're just trying to tackle the exhaust sensor thing, and somewhere down there, yeah, you can see right down there is the turbo right at the back of the engine, and Graham's just reported back to me saying that there's zero play in any of it. So yeah, the turbo's in good condition. It does boost well, to be fair. I have had it up in boost, even though I don't drive it hard at the moment. Yeah, so that's very nice to see, and that just goes to show that if you regularly maintain performance and specialist cars, that you're not going to really be hit with any major heavy bills. Just regular maintenance, keep on top of everything, and you should have an easy life with stuff. Yeah, a couple of the routine maintenance stuff, for example, the clutch pedal is a common failure point or something like that. Yeah, they could be a little costly. It's the same with a couple of little sensors, but I'd rather spend 120 quid now on a sensor than the possibility of a new engine or something. So this car's been really well documented from all the previous owners. It's had 10 previous owners, this car, but the average ownership's about a year. I've just run a HPI on it. Yeah, and yeah, it's just incredible. Just keep on top of maintenance and you'll be fine. So that is a very positive thumbs up, green tick for this car. Now let's get the second-hand sensor in, which these sensors are worth about 120 quid second-hand. If you want to buy one brand new, they're about 280 quid or 240 quid, something like that. But I was lucky enough to find one from a reputable breaker for 50 quid. So let's get that on, and that should be another issue ticked off the board. Right, so this is the old sensor. Now, everything is in good condition, but this is the actual like probe, like sensor area itself. As you can see, it is quite shitted up. There's this really weird white deposit on it as well. I mean, I don't know very much about these sensors whatsoever. I don't know how to tell whether one's in good condition or not at all. Also, I've noticed as well, it's actually bent. Just noticed that. Is that what your one bent as well?
No.
Little, but not too bad. But yeah, so I don't know how to tell whether this is a good or a bad sensor. Well, obviously I know it's bad, but you know, that's the old one. That's done 148,000 miles, for God's sake. Like, give it some due. And then this is a nice new one, second-hand one that I got from a reputable breaker for 50 quid. As you can see on the tip, there is no white deposit on it, or if there is, it's very, very, very minimal. And it's a lot straighter than that one. That one was like kinked easily at about 35 degrees. So now we've got to thread it. It goes through all of these like vacuum and fuel lines and shit like that down there. It goes all the way through all of that, up over here, all the way to the back where the turbo is. So the first one took about 5 minutes to get out. I'm guessing this one's probably going to take the equivalent to put back in. But yeah, let's get this going. Right, so we're back from grabbing the coolant and the oil stuff, so the filter and the sump plug. We are now looking at the brake pressure sensor, which is somewhere amongst the misc down there.
You can just see about the end of it.
Yeah, where Graham's magnet is pretty much where it is.
It is on it.
Just to give you the scale, that's the space we've got to work in. So obviously the coolant bottle's out, and yeah. What else did you do whilst we was gone?
Just put the tip pipe back on.
Yep.
Mounted all of your sensor back up. Put all the bracket back on.
Yep.
And had a sandwich.
Nice. Yeah, because we've got another car to work on, which is out there, which is a silver A7, because Ben's with us, the one with the S3. So he ended up taking me in the end to get the parts, whilst Graham cracked on with a couple of bits here. So we're going to figure out how to get to that. There's just about enough room to get it out, apparently. So we're going to figure out how to do that, and then, yeah, pretty much go from there. Right, so what we've had to do is basically disconnect all of the fuel system, and there's like a little plastic surround around these pipes. We've had to remove that, and hopefully, I mean it's dark at the moment because...
Let me get the torch.
Okay, I thought it was still dead. And hopefully we should be able to get to the sensor. I don't even know where I'm looking. Oh, that one there.
That one there.
Yep.
And
So
you can see another one just behind it, which is the G214 or something.
241
like
you said.
241,
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
So yeah, we're going for this front one, and then that's the other one there. But yeah, the front one needs replacing on here. So we can get to that, pull that off. Meanwhile, Ben is in the interior, pulling out the old clutch pedal. Just trying to get this done and shifted out of the way, because the A7 has got to have 2 rear springs done. So we're trying to get this out of the way so that can come in and be done as well. So yeah, it's all hands on deck at the moment. And then obviously the last thing is the coolant top up, the wipers, and the oil change. So making progress. It's slow progress, but it's progress nevertheless. And yeah, if I could advise a top tip on this, literally just take your time, because all of these plastics here can go quite brittle. So just take your time, don't get angry, don't rush it. But yeah, so let's get this cracked out. Right, so that was actually quite easy to get the actual sensor out itself. Yeah, you can tell what one the old one is. And we don't think the old one was a genuine sensor, which means that it's been done before.
It's got no part numbers or anything on it at all, apart from 3 circles with crosses in. Whereas when you look at the one that...
The genuine eBay one.
Yeah, it's got the Audi stamp on it, it has got the part number on it. So, it should be. Plug it in. I think there is some form of coding, I can't remember off the top of my head, but plug it in. I mean, also this has got an O-ring on it, that one didn't, so I don't know.
Perhaps that was letting fluid through, and perhaps that's why I was getting a spongy response through the clutch and brake.
Quite possibly.
Hmm.
Let me get the old hook in there and just see if I can feel anything and hook it out.
Yeah. Make sure you always clean your surfaces. Make sure everything seals properly. I mean, I know that's probably common sense, but you'll be surprised the amount of people that don't do it.
Yeah. See the mirror?
The
See the mirror anywhere?
I do not see no mirror over here. Right, we're going to look for the inspection mirror, make sure all of that's all nice and clean, and then put the new sensor in.
Bumboy's put another Jubilee clip on, yeah.
Right, so we are now actually removing the clutch pedal. The sensor's back in, but we're actually removing the clutch pedal itself now. Ben's been under there, he's undone everything. The pedal is loose, but it's literally held in with a couple of lines, like liquid lines. So we're just disconnecting them, and then hopefully the whole pedal assembly should fall free. So yeah, that's where we're at now. Everything is literally down in that hole. I don't know what Graham's looking at, but it's down here somewhere. So yeah, we're very close to getting this hopefully mechanically sound. That's the goal. Right, I can't look over to the right hand side of me because Graham is welding, but this is the state of the interior of my car now. So basically, the whole bottom of the dash has to come out to get to the last bolt on the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal, if you look at it from this side, sits in that hole that you can see there. Yeah, we've rebuilt my clutch pedal system. This is all the old stuff. We found out as well that, well, I say this is all the old stuff, there's a couple of bits we're still using. But basically, this has had a new clutch pedal before because it was a non-genuine master cylinder, and that big blue sensor there is a non-genuine part. The original one is there. So, yeah, so the whole clutch has been rebuilt before, which is a bit concerning. But we established it was built with non-genuine stuff. Everything that we're using is genuine parts only. At the moment, Graham is welding, which I can't show you because I can't look over there. He's welding some additional weld onto a plate or something like that, where it's a common failure point for it to flex, bend, snap, whatever. So he's just reinforcing it as sort of like preventative maintenance. So yeah, making a lot of progress. Once all of this is back together, it'll probably be a quick oil change. It'll be a brake bleed, a clutch bleed. Then this is out of here. Then the A7 is in here, but I probably won't film that. Not too sure. But yeah, so we're making an awful lot of progress. Right, so this is what Graham was welding. So explain what all of this is for.
Well, if I get the old one, hang on. You can see the difference between the two here.
Yeah.
Yep, just there. That's obviously just got 2 little tack welds on each end.
Yeah.
And that is common for them welds breaking, that snapping off, and then you lose all your clutch. So what I've done on this one is I've filled this gap here with weld and then gone over the top of it again just to help strengthen it, and it gives it that extra point of rigidity.
Nice. So yeah, that's that.
You got gaskets even?
Yes, mate.
That's alright.
Right, so this is all the clutch back together. Now, like I said in the last shot, we're using all genuine parts. So the sensor was a aftermarket off-brand, there's no part numbers on it, no nothing like that. The master cylinder itself, which is this bit here, that was an off-brand, but it's all genuine stuff now. It's all back together, and yeah, obviously Graham's welded the reinforcement in. So we're going to put that back in the car. Then we're going to fill the fluids up and crap and put the fuel lines back on, and then we'll be ready to turn her over once Ben's finished under there taking the sump off. So yeah, we're going to do all that, get the sump off, get the new oil feed pipe thing on, can't remember what it's called, oil pickup, there we go. Put the sump back on, because otherwise it'll be pointless in putting oil in the car. And then yeah, just hopefully we'll be able to crank it, hopefully maybe within the hour, maybe. Let's go. Alright, so the sump
get
pan...
some oil in your face there, Ben.
The sump pan is now off, and to be fair, it's relatively clean in there. There is a bit of old dipstick in the bottom.
Bring the tray back under for you. Sorry.
And but other than that, it's not actually too bad. Yeah, that's a bit of dipstick. But other than that, there's nothing else in there, is there?
No, it's just a bit of carbon build up as you'd expect to see.
Especially on the mileage this is on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So Ben's just under there now, pulling the do-free flip off. The pickup pipe, which, as you can see, is quite a messy job. And then we'll be replacing that with a nice squeaky new one. So yeah, and I mean, you know, for the sake of doing this little bit of work, it can save you an engine, especially on these as well, because it's very common, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with the age and that, everything like that. I mean, so yeah, something like that, little bits of it you'll find can float in the oil when it's sucking it, get sucked up into the pickup sieve,
Yeah.
and then block it up. The carbon, as it drops off, as it builds up in big lumps and drops off, again that'll go in there, block it up.
So is that the same for any engine in general, or is it primarily an issue for these?
I don't know for other engines. I know for 2 litre TFSIs and these, they're well known for having it done as a safety measure.
Did mine.
But other engines I wouldn't be able to tell you 100%. I don't see why it wouldn't be similar, unless like the actual gauze in the pickup pipe is not as fine as what it is on these. But yeah, no, it's not too bad normally.
But yeah, so that's that off. Just getting the feed off, and then we'll compare old to new. Right, it has been one heck of a while since I've recorded. The sump's all cleaned out, even though it does look a bit dirty still at the moment. It is clean, I just need to finish up with that. The pickup pipe is out, that's on the floor. There is loads of sediment in the little mesh filter thing. Can't be asked to show you that. Graham is doing Graham things and fixing stuff. We've got it hooked up to life support, as you can see. And the front wheels are off for brake bleeding purposes and stuff. Apparently this has DODO pads on it, which I didn't even realise, so that's a good sign. Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a very long day, but we are pretty much on the home stretch. Like I said, Graham's just buttoning stuff up there. We're ready to bleed the brakes, we're ready to do other bits and bobs. It's just, yeah, the final push now. Pedals back in the car, but I don't think the interior's back together, I'm not too sure. I've been too busy scrubbing away at that. But yeah, so there we go. Right, it has been quite a while once again since I've filmed. It's probably been the best part of about an hour or so. We have coolant. We have bled the front brakes. The clutch is somewhat operational at the moment. We are just doing the gasket for the sump and other bits and bobs like that. So literally it's just button up tasks now. The interior is still in pieces, as you can see, but we are getting there, so very close now. Right, we are almost ready for firing up. We need to put oil in, that's a very critical step. The new oil filter is just going on under there. Ben, bless him, has practically been under there all day. Poor geezer. The interior is back together, which is another cool update. We've got VAGCOM sat there ready to rock and roll. Hopefully the TT wants to connect to it, because it chooses when it wants to. Finally got this little piece back on, because to diagnose the exhaust sensor we had to remove that. So that's finally back on. That hasn't been on since I've had the car. All we're missing now, as you can probably tell, is just loads of plastics which are up the back over there. And yeah, we're ready to roll and rock. So we'll put some oil in it and then we shall see if she'll fire. I hear fluid. Oh fuck! What is that?
That's
Fuel.
fuel.
Shit.
Why is it pissing out there? I'll tell you why it's pissing out of there.
Why?
Must have the things around the wrong way up the top.
The bucket.
Balls. Right, come on. Basically, I think we had the fuel connectors on the wrong way. She runs straight away. Any lights? What?
Traction control one.
Still?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. She runs. Which is a good sign. Yeah, basically these fuel connectors here, we put them on the wrong way so it pissed fuel out on the floor. But I think we're okay now. It's now just time to do the last bit of tweaking and diagnosis, and this one should be done. Alright, here she comes, she's coming out. Right, there we go. She is out. Let's run her up to temperature and stuff. Right, so we've just been out on a quick test drive. Car holds temperature, car performs, car does what car needs to do. We're just doing one final bleed on the brakes because we only bled up the fronts. We didn't bleed up the back, so we're going to bleed up the backs, double check the fronts. The clutch seems to be alright. It had one timer being sticky, but that was it. So I'm going to monitor that. Other than that, everything else with the car seems pretty alright. So yeah, just going to get this all buttoned back together and we should be golden.